Alright, welcome back everybody to Fire Emblem 7 again. We're going to do Hector's Hard mode. I decided that I was going to show Lynn's mode, but we're going to speed it up by about 4 times the normal speed, just so I can get this into this whole run through into a single episode. Just wanted to be a little bit transparent in terms of getting through these different levels and making sure that, you know, as I level... Well, let's make a long story short. I originally started out playing this without doing Lynn's mode and realized that Hector's Hard is way too hard to not at least use some of these early levels to get, you know, some of your starting units up. I'm going to kind of abuse this a little bit because I'm going to use the last level to try to get all of my main guys up to about 10. Now obviously Wraith comes in at level 9 or so it won't be too hard to get him up to level 10. But for the rest of these guys, it's going to be pretty obvious that we're going to get close to 10 with the 3 characters that you see on screen right now. And then we'll just do a little bit of extra grinding against the final boss, who very much cannot be taken down without much hesitation. So what we're going to be doing. And unfortunately, I had Lynn out of position there. I should have kept her closer to the boss throne, which she could have taken it on that next turn. You can see we're just blowing right through these missions. I did obviously play this on normal speed. I'm just speeding it up in post to just show you what happened, what I did, what I didn't do. You know, I made a couple mistakes in and around here. Nothing too serious though that I don't know, Florina doesn't die here on the next turn. You want to pay attention to Florina is what I'm saying. Because I kind of made a boo-boo here. I thought I was outside of the range of this axe user. I was not. Luckily, it did not kill me. And because we're playing Lynn's hard mode, I have to go and get a sword for well, it's supposed to be Sane's sword, but I already traded Sane his sword from Kent. Fun, isn't it? Oh yes, I'm going to be using Lynn primarily to finish off the bosses when I can, because it is essentially a free level up for her. If you watch me play Hector's regular mode, much of what you're seeing in this Lynn's mode is near identical to what I did previously. Very much putting the 2 horse units down here to soak up all of the axe users stuff. Fortunately, I didn't know what to do with Florina here, so I'm going to move her down towards the axe users and clean up the other guys down below. Kind of lucky that the bow user didn't get a chance to shoot me here, because the axe users filled up the space around it, is what they shouldn't have done. The plan, I guess I could talk about, while this episode's playing through, I could talk about my plans for Hector's Hard mode. The plan is, because I'm leveling up some of these guys, characters like Dorcas are going to become very useful to me at the beginning of the game. Essentially the second level of Hector's campaign, I'll be getting Dorcas, which will help me out a great deal. Also having Rebecca and Matthew up to level whatever, 8, 9, 10, it's going to help a lot as well, because that'll help take some of the weight off of getting my other units trained up, i.e. Hector and Elwood, and we are going to use we're going to use Lowen, but only until I get Hector or get Kent and Sane back. We're going to try to give Marcus the least amount of experience I can give. I know ultimately if you play Hector's hard mode, it doesn't really matter if he sucks up some experience, because inevitably your characters will catch up regardless. You know, because the lower the level you are versus the guys that you're fighting, the more experience you gather, and the closer or further ahead of in level that you are versus the enemy, the less experience you gain. So, but that's the plan. Marcus, I am going to use Marcus much like I used him in Hector's normal mode, which is to, is there a village I need to save? Is there something that I need to send, essentially a character I know will not die, out into the middle of the wilderness in order to try and grab a village or a treasure? Yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to be able to get all the treasures? No. There's definitely going to be portions where I'm not going to be able to get certain treasures. Just because I can't sprint certain levels, and you're just going to have to live with it. I'm going to have to live with it, is what I'm saying. And we are going for no deaths as well. But, luckily, because I don't like pre-promoted units in my games, I don't like to use pre-promoted units for the most part. I sort of set myself up in a good position where I've got a number of characters that work really well in a Hector's Hard mode that I don't have to worry about. Not the right phrase. I don't have to worry about, you know, oh, I already used those guys, because guess what? I didn't use any of them. And then obviously the characters that I did use, obviously, doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be able to use all the characters that I didn't use and not use the characters that I did use. So unfortunately I used all the Pegasus sisters, so all of those are gone. I do have Heath, which I'm gonna use. Maybe Valdia, or whatever her name is. I did use Wrath in the Elwood playthrough, and I didn't use either Marcus or Isadora. I'll be using both of them, probably be using both of them along with Sane, just because horse riders are really good. They are. I mean, they just are. As are units that have high defense. When possible, I am going to try to get Nils up. I don't think it's really going to matter too much, because when I get to the final level, I'm going to be using a ton of Nils. Just to, you know, basically cycle through and give guys a couple extra turns. We are going to do the same thing with Florina. The reason I'm training everybody is because I kind of want them as options when the level comes. So in the chance that I can't get through a certain level without, say, having a flyer like Florina in it, I can substitute Florina in. Or in the case of when you get Kent, Sane, Will, and Lynn, that level is kind of dangerous because there's a lot of Pegasus Knights that'll fly down and attack them. And if they're not properly leveled, it makes it very difficult to take on the Pegasus Knights, because to the left, the direct left of where they start is a town you want to get to, so you can get their their bonus material, whatever you want to call it. And in the same regard, you don't have a ton of time to get down there before the brigands come and basically make mincemeat of that town. So we're going to try to get to that, down to that point, which relies heavily on Kent and Stain going to the left. Though I suppose you could also do it with Marcus as well. But, we'll get there when we get there. I'm hoping that these extra levels that I'm giving these people won't be, they won't be a detriment, definitely, but, I mean, how much time am I gonna waste, you know, to do what I want to do in order to give myself a slight advantage in one level? What is so amazing about Pegasus Knights, and I think I mentioned this before, is they're sort of the opposite of the Dragon Riders, where the Dragon Riders are flying pegs. These guys are flying resistance machines. They fly, they don't do a ton of damage, but they get a decent amount of resistance. So when it comes to Mage Killer, they're like top of the list. You'll notice I'm skipping over preparatory stuff stuff as well, so when I have the ability to form my own party, pick out weapons, I'm gonna skip over all that because it's just a waste of time. We're just trying to get through Hector's campaign as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, it will take me a long time to get through Hector's campaign because it's Hector's campaign, so it'll be more evident to me, who has to actually edit down the videos where I die 15 times, probably, than it is going to be for, say, the viewer who's watching the actual correct, not me dying playthrough. So, I was out today taking my my coworker. I drive home quite a bit. I took him out to about a half an hour away from his house to visit his significant other, girlfriend, whatever you want to call her. And she was, I wouldn't say she's a nice lady. First of all, she's a nice lady. I'm glad that, you know, her and my coworker get along well. But it's kind of funny to see her because she's about as close as I could have possibly imagined. You take this guy's style and the way he sort of, the music he listens to, and the you know, what he sort of made his personality around, and then you make kind of like a female equivalent of him, and that is sort of with this girl. It was kind of, I wouldn't say weird. It wasn't really weird so much as it was uncanny. Like when you have two people that really are really into the same stuff, it's like, wow, you're just the female version of him, aren't you? It was nice. I like when people find their other half, if you will. Whether that means finding someone who's very similar to you, or someone who sort of is your mere opposite, you know, sort of balances the yin and the yang out. But then again, I'm not really, wasn't exactly, when I took him there, I sort of just sat in the car and let him go visit with his girlfriend, you know, lady friend, and I have trouble labeling what they are because they're a little bit past they're definitely past the girlfriend boyfriend stage, but they're not officially married. So, as a lot of people these days seem to be cohabitating with a lady or a guy friend, but they're not like married. So what do you mean, like friends with benefits, if you will? I don't know. Not really. It's even past that, because I'm pretty sure, I'm like, without like physically going and taking notes and being like, well, they do this, this, and this. I met her briefly before we left, because he had stuff he needed to drop off to her, including some paperwork, and then He also had some stuff he wanted, she wanted to give him for his house. And no, I will not be taking any questions on this because I don't, well, I don't care. It's not my business either. I mean, you could have two of the most dysfunctional people in the world that are able to love each other, find love within each other, and acceptance, and not be just a giant fucking headache. So as you could probably see from the timer right now, we're about 15 minutes into this video, 16 minutes into this video, and I've got probably another, what, 10 or 15 minutes left, which really shows you how some of these later levels, both in Lynn's campaign as well as in Hector/Ellawood's, kind of like backloaded in terms of how long they take to get through. In this case, it's more or less because I want to eat all the experience on this level. You could certainly probably rush down the boss from here. It wouldn't take all that long to get through this level. But again, between the fog of war that's about to happen and me wanting to eat all the experience, fuck me in the ass. Alright, we're still good. Alright, I did edit it out. Okay. I had a failed attempt at this level earlier where I pushed Florina too far up the path, and she got sniped by an archer and had to start this level over again. I was pretty sure I had already edited that out, but I'm looking at it now going, oh, did I forget to do that? Yeah, it's kind of embarrassing to die in Lynn's Tale, whether you're playing on... I don't know if it's... I wouldn't say it's necessarily possible to do it in Lynn's normal campaign, I guess, until you at least get to this level. But it's embarrassing to lose in any regard. I almost gave Nils the early grave. See, Ken, I haven't really done anything special with Ken. He's at 8. We're not going to be doing anything with Wallace. He's just going to stand there, collect dust. At least till I get to the last level, then I may have to use him to take out the actual boss. I do need to give Will some levels here. Obviously the cleric lady, you can keep doing your thing. Just want to make sure he doesn't kill me on the counterattack, so... I hate how that works sometimes. That's what's so frustrating about archers is, particularly when you run into not only classed up characters, but anyone with a significant amount of defense, they can be sort of hard-pressed to do any damage. Yeah, we're going to continue to use R to heal my guys up, even if it's I'm sort of making sort of bonehead choices here in what I'm doing. As you can see, he's healing faster than I'm able to do damage, so what I need to do is literally what I just did. Is wait for him to use his axe, bring in Lynn, and just chop him down. I used the flute on the wrong character, that's okay. We're just gonna move everybody up. Fun fact about this stage here, which I may have mentioned in my previous playthroughs, if you spend too much time on this level, it just turns to permanent rain. So it goes back and forth early on as you're making your way down to the castle, but at a certain point the developers are like, yeah, you shouldn't spend more than 10-15 turns on this level. We're just going to make it permanently rain to punish you, because we know what you're doing. The rain stuff is definitely frustrating. I mean, I know it's in this level, and it's in, like, maybe one other level, if that, in the rest of the game. I'm actually trying to think if there's another rain level in the game. I don't think there is. Very weird, isn't it? There's a couple fog levels, but I don't think there's another rain level. Unless the one level is a rain level, the one where you have to fight the warrior that has the hero's crest on him. It's possible. Excuse me. Here's the energy ring. I'll give that to somebody once I get all my guys up to 10. I'll figure out who needs it the most and give it to him. I'll give you a hint. It's gonna be one of like two characters. It's either gonna be Lynn or it's gonna be Burke. Because I don't think either one of the no, he's at 12. I'm pretty sure Kent's gonna be around. He's at 6 there. You know, so Lynn could use it, obviously, because as a Myrmidon / Lord, that's one of the areas they tend to lack in. Alright, so I will shut up after this. You can just kind of watch the rest of this episode as I quickly zip through the rest of this battle. There is going to be a cut upcoming where after I get to the general, I basically cut between the point at which I want to start training my guys and when I'm done training them. So you'll notice that all of my guys just are standing in one spot, and then next thing you know, they're standing in a different spot. And that's just me finishing off the level, more or less. So I'll sign off here, and you guys can watch the rest of the episode, and then when we start on the next episode, we'll be fully into Hector's mode, and we'll be back to normal speed. So until then, I hope you guys all have a good one.